Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm just doing, well, I don't know how long the video will be, but I am just seeing how we're just gonna play. I wanted to kind of give some techniques, a couple of techniques on embossing folders. There's more, and so I'll probably do a little series on that. So I thought I'd come on and play. I have not made a sample. Usually I have a sample ready ahead of time, but we're going to wing it. I already know how the process works. So I do have some pieces ready to make a card after we do this. So the embossing folder I'm going to use is it's the thinner embossing folders that fits into my mini cut emboss machine. So I'm going to be using this leafy plant one right here. That's really cool looking. I haven't used it yet, so I thought it would be kind of fun to use. I also have some other ones that are smaller we may play with. We'll see how the time goes. This is a 3D embossing folder. These are not. There's two embossing folders in here, and you can tell just by the thickness that one is thicker than the other. So it's a little bit of a different sandwich. So for the 3D embossing folder for the mini cut emboss machine, you're going to need the gray number 4 and then number 1, the plate here. I've pretty much worn. I use the heck out of this machine. So so the first thing we're going to do, and I should have cut some more pieces. Well, we can just do that here in a minute. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to emboss the image on white, just so you can see better what we're going to be doing. And you can spritz this a little bit with water to make it form a little easier. This piece of paper is 3 3¼ by 5 1/4. That's the widest, pretty close to the widest that you can get in the stamp. You probably could go a little bit wider, but that's what fits these folders. And the 5 1/4 is for the card width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this in here, and then go ahead and emboss this. And I'm going to do this with 2 pieces. Oh, this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous embossing folder. I'm going to do that. Also, this is Old Olive. I'm going to do the same thing with some Old Olive. Fit that in there. This line helps you line up the paper in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And run that through. Okay, and then that just folds back up. We'll move that out of the way for a moment. And we've got this one embossed. Gorgeous. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, and you can see the embossing here on the green. And I'm working on camera stuff. I'm learning so that I have to kind of peek over my phone here so I can see where the orientation is, but hopefully I'll have a little bit of a different setup. Still using the same stuff I have, just learning some new technology. All right, so these are pretty just as they are, and they add a nice touch to the card. But what I wanted to do, I've had a lot of questions. I have had a lot of new stampers and a lot of questions on different products. So I thought I'd come on and do a technique video on the embossing folders. So it's going to be ink pad and embossing and the paper. That's it. So the first technique you can do after you've embossed is you can take it and take this edge of your stamp pad, whatever color that is, and you can just run it across. And I'm okay with some of the green getting on there. It kind of makes a fun effect. and it will go over the raised edges. And so then you can see what was embossed, you know, the floral that was embossed, and it picked up most of the ink. So we have that piece that you can do that in white, which shows it shows better for you. But you can also, this is Mossy Meadow and this is Mossy Meadow ink. You can do a tone on tone. So I'm going to just go ahead and brush it down this way. You can do it as much or as little as you want, depending on what look you're going for the color. And here is that one with the Mossy Meadow on the Mossy Meadow paper, and that raised edge gives it a more textural look. Okay, so there's those two. So that's just rubbing the ink on the paper. I'm going to cut a couple more pieces of the same colors, white and Mossy Meadow. I'm sorry, Old Olive. I keep saying Mossy Meadow, it's Old Olive. I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more pieces. Let's see, this is about what we need right here. So I need, bring in my cutter. A piece that's 3 1/4. I've already pre-cut this to 5 1/4. So there's our 3 1/4 piece, and then this is not quite 5 1/4, but we will cut it at 3 1/4 and then trim it down. Cut that down to 5 1/4. Okay, so now the next thing that we could do with our embossing folder is we can ink it. That's going to give us a totally different look. So what I'm going to do is, from on the top side, the embossing side, I'm going to ink up this side right here that has the Stampin' Up! Logo facing up. I'm going to ink the inside of this. Now, no worries, so far I haven't stained any with the plain I've been doing, and it rinses off very nicely. So I'm just going to take my ink pad, and I'm just going to press it on there and get ink all over it. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my paper on there. I'm going to line it up with that line. Put that on there, close this, and then I'm going to run it through my embossing machine, or my die cut machine here. I'm going to do the white one first so you can see the effect that it gives. Now some ink got into the petals, but that's okay. Isn't that a fun, you see how it just makes the image pop up. So we're going to do the same thing with the green. So we're going to do a tone on tone. Okay. We're going to take our, and it doesn't matter if you get some on the back, because you're going to be gluing this likely on the back of a card, so nobody will see it. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there and run that through the embossing machine. And then here's that look with the tone on tone. So what it ends up doing, I mean, I got some ink in with the leaves on the embossed section, the things, the parts that's carved out, but that's okay. It looks great. But all the ink, the way I embossed it that way, goes to the background for the most part. So let's make a card with this. Just gonna make a really simple card. So what I did here is I cut, these are 1/2-inch pieces, and these are from the Celebration paper here. The 12 by 12, the Dainty Flowers 12 by 12, that's what this is from. And I just cut a 1/2 piece. And Celebration is going on right now with Stampin' Up. These are products you can get for free with $50 orders. There's several in there with different $50 orders that you can choose. And there's also $100 orders, and it builds up. So if you place a $100 order and you wanted two free $50 order items, you can choose 2 of that instead of ordering 100. So there's lots of options in here of what you can get. So anyway, so I'm going to just do a simple card. We're going to do our card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5. Okay. And I'm just going to take a couple of strips, and I'm just going to kind of glue them on the edge here. See, this is 3 1/4. I'm going to use my grid paper to kind of line up so I know how much I need to put on here. It'll help me line up my edges here, because I don't want to go to the 4 1/4 mark because I want some white showing. So we'll go right about there on my card. Now the glue I have in here is our glue, the Monotombo glue. I just put it in here. I get messy with glue, so it's better for me to use this. I'm just going to put a strip down the edge here. And I'm just going to try to make sure it has the same distance across. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Just a little bit. Okay, that's fairly close, I think. A little bit more. Okay, so we have those pieces on the back, and then what we're going to do is just go ahead and line it up on our card. Okay, so we have that, and now let me grab a sentiment. I'm going to go to the Celebrating You sentiment, and I'm going to grab this punch and just punch out a tag. Let's see, we can do, let's just do Lots of Love. Any sentiment would work on here. So we're going to just go ahead and stamp lots of love. And I'm just going to use the same color because I have it out. I'm just going to kind of put that right there, but I think I'm going to pop it up. With our Stampin' Dimensionals here. Okay, there's our, now our sentiment. Now let's do some gems. We have the purple. I think we're gonna do with some of these opaque white ones. We'll do those. I think what I'm going to do is put one in each corner here, each of those little bubbles. That's pretty. That adds a little bit of sparkle. I'm wondering if I want to do a bow or a tie on that. Maybe we'll just add more sparkle. We're just having some fun here. Let's see what this would look like. This is glittered organza ribbon, and it's a fun ribbon. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, with a long tail. That would be cute. So let's do that. And then we'll grab our glue dots. I think I can just pick that up. If it has a bigger back, you can just put it on the glue dot, smash it in there, and pick it up with the glue dot on there. And we will just add this bow right there. And I'm going to add one more gem, the smaller one, kind of in the center right here. And I think that turned out really cute. So there's a simple card just using the embossing folder. Lots of sparkle like I like. Not everyone likes sparkle, but I do like that. You could simply just put this on the cardstock by itself, or use the bigger ones and do some bigger ones. But so there's a card we made using the technique, the two ink techniques that I showed you. And I will do some more techniques in some other videos. So thank you for joining me, and I will catch you on the next one.